Chapter 114, Grieve, but Heal. Akio and Riel argued for the first time, leading to a misunderstanding until Akio gave up, telling Riel his solid words for leaving. "I wish all the best for you. Good luck, and goodbye. Sayonara, Riel." Akio turned away with a heavy heart, while Riel was watching him. Then Riel's flight was announced. She was reminiscing about Akio's sad look, as he bid her goodbye, giving a tragic look one more time at Akio. While he was walking away, she felt a heavy heart, as if she had a heart attack, and held her chest, crying softly in bitterness and grief. Riel understood it was a farewell bid, Akio's final goodbye. Riel felt those heartrending words from Akio, so agonizing that she could hardly breathe. She thought she had lost a best friend, and a man Riel learned to love, more than she had loved Hyenki. Once Riel got home, she hugged her mom in tears, but never said anything that might worry Mrs. Kalma. In turn, Riel's mom thought it was sorrow and grief for the loss of her husband. She didn't know that her daughter was suffering deeply about her bereft of Akio, whom she would never see again. Days passed, and Riel was oddly quiet, keeping things to herself while attending to her son's needs. She often leaves her son to Ruby, while she mopes and wallows in her room. During meals, she eats less, and despite the funny antics Hyungsik did to entertain his mom, she only responds with a forced smile, not to disappoint the little tyke. Dr. Kalma is getting worried, so she talks to Riel alone in her bedroom. "Riel, I know how you felt, because I also had gone through a lot when your father died, and it took an insurmountable amount of courage to fight the emptiness and aloneness brought by your dad's death. But you, still so young back then, and your older sisters had helped me overcome the pain. Yes, it was so difficult to face life daily, because I was used to having your dad around. Even if he was tired after his surgeries and clinical work, he always gave time to his daughters and me. I can't think of a time that I never missed your dad. Sometimes, I imagined him standing by my side, seeing him move about in his clinic, and mostly seeing him in my dreams. But I survived, Riel. I stayed because of you, my children. If I had given up, you could have lost me too." Riel sobbed and wailed, letting her heartaches out of her chest, and Mrs. Kalma let her cry. "Cry all you want, Riel, to lessen that burden in your heart. But after those tears, look around you. Look at us, your son, sisters, and me. We are still here to support you. Just think of how your son looks whenever he finds you so quiet and in tears. He also worries, although he cannot express it through words. His face shows how sad he feels. Do you also want your son to suffer loneliness?" He never questioned his dad's whereabouts, maybe because he was used to seeing him only a few times a week. Still, seeing you in a state of loneliness and grief, he might feel insecurity and loneliness. Get a hold of yourself, Riel. Think of Hyungsik. Live for him, not for the person who is forever gone. Riel felt guilty for two reasons: Hyenki's death and Akio's final goodbye. Both defeated her so well that she looked like a wounded warrior who lost one's ground for a possible victory. Riel felt that she had to learn to accept the reality of life, move on with her only son, her source of joy. One late afternoon, Riel thought of leaving the country with her son. She needed to figure out where to go, so she searched on her laptop for countries where no one among her friends and family would think of going. While browsing, a notification from her social media inbox came in, so she clicked it. There she saw pictures of Akio socializing with a circle of friends in her social media feed. She noticed one image that was so familiar to her: Nicole. Riel felt broken, for she realized Akio lied straight to her face. She recalled what Akio told her: "I am not in love with Nicole. She was nothing to me. Nicole wanted me to try with her, but I just couldn't. It is always you, Riel. I love you." Riel became furious, and she shouted as she looked at their photos. "Nicole was nothing to you. Huh? Liar. I never thought you would lie to me too. You are no different from Hyun. You men were born pathological liars. I hate you. I hate you." Riel wept again. It took her an hour before she regained her composure. She posted a broken heart emoji under Akio and Nicole's picture, then closed her social media. She again returned to her search for a friendly country where she could find peace of mind to help her regain strength. She was thinking about Singapore, Taiwan, Australia, and Canada, but in her inner self, it wouldn't match her purpose. These places were already familiar for a vacation. "I need to go to a place where no one would think I'll go there. How about India?" Then she recalled a friend of hers in college, where she was invited to have a vacation with her friend's grandparents, and that is in Hawaii. She had not seen the country, because Hwan Chul refused her to go there, and the same with her mom, and now she was considering that country. and it was a part of the US. So why not try, she thought. The next day, she brought Hyung-sik with her to get his passport. Mrs. Kalma asked, "Where are you going, Riel?" "I just want to go out with Hyung-sik. Anyway, Ruby is going with us." When they reached the Department of Foreign Affairs, Ruby asked, "Are you planning to leave the country, Mrs. Riel?" Riel nodded. "Once we leave, could you stay with Mom for a while? It would help if you were here when we return." "Could I expect a yes?" Riel requested. "Yes, ma'am. No problem. I could be a big help for your mom anyway." Ruby chirped. "You won't tell anyone, not even your family, where I am. Just play dumb. That you were not told we're Hyung-sik, and I went for a vacation. Please," Riel pleaded. "I can't assure you, ma'am. My lips are sealed. Just take care of yourself." And Hyung-sik 2 weeks later, Riel came to get Hyung-sik's passport and visited the US Embassy for travel approval. Questions were asked, until they learned she was married to the multi-billionaire CEO, so she was granted a 90-day trip to Hawaii. Riel was exuberant. She went to see a travel agency to arrange her travel with her son. Things went well for Riel's plan. That night before bed, she went to see her mom in her bedroom. "Mom, I want to leave the country for a while with Hyung-sik. I couldn't stay here, and it doesn't help. I want to be alone with Hyung for a month or so. You don't have to worry about us. I can make it through. Give me this chance to live alone and spend more time with my son, and I promise things will be better once I return." Mrs. Kalma couldn't say a word or two. She looked at her daughter for a while. Then she hugged Riel, controlling her tears not to show. "My dearest daughter, all I wanted for you is to be strong. Now that you're alone, raising your son, I won't contradict your plans, because I believe in you. Take care of yourself and your son. This is the best time to spend a much-needed time with Hyung, to make your bond with him tighter. I know you don't want to tell the country you're going to, but as your mother, you wouldn't want me to worry, right? I won't tell anyone, just between the two of us." Riel stared at her mother, then, with a bit of hesitation, she spoke. "I'm going to a place where no one, not even Hwan Chul, would think about Mom. I chose Hawaii and would call you once we get there," she affirmed. "Not even Akio Hinode, I presume?" her mom probed. "As I said, no one. I count on your word, Mom," Riel remarked. Riel and Hyung-sik booked a grab car to the airport one hot afternoon. Hyung-sik was so excited to see airplanes entering and leaving the runway. When they got their seat on a first-class flight, Riel felt relieved that they were given the best seat close to a window and earphones for the child, so his ears won't hurt during the flight. Hyung-sik was delighted, and as it moved, he became quiet and hugged his mom as the plane ascended. They will be in the air for around 14 hours, so Hyung-sik becomes edgy at one time or the other. Riel has to make him watch kids' movies to keep him from getting rowdy. At last, the plane touched down at Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. They were in Honolulu and took an airport taxi to take them to Hilton Hawaiian Village, Waikiki Beach Resort. Riel got a room for 2 guests, and it faced the beach, which made Hyung-sik so amazed. Hyung-sik was jumping for joy, wanting to dive into the pool. Riel carried Hyung-sik and sat on the couch on the balcony, watching guests, having fun in the pool. "We'll do that, baby, but we must rest first. Mommy is still tired, aren't you?" Hyung affirmed, simultaneously removed his shoes and socks, and climbed onto the bed. It was morning when Riel woke up, and thought of having breakfast in the room, rather than going to the restaurant. After a while, Hyung was awakened by the knock on the door. The mother and son had breakfast, and to keep Hyung behaving, she opened the TV to keep him entertained. Riel considered looking for an apartment where they could live for their extended stay in Honolulu. The hotel is too expensive, she thought. She took her laptop and browsed for house listings for rent. Riel and Hyung-sik are now in Honolulu, Hawaii. What life awaits for Riel? Will it help her heal to move on? Keep following the Windows of the Heart series on my YouTube and TikTok channels. Few episodes were left towards the ending. Thank you.